back to East Coast DNA. We're back with another apartment talk. I'm still outside the apartment, but I'm at the apartment technically. Today we have Brian Doucette here with us. Unfortunately, you were very close to the fire, so I mean, hopefully by the time people are watching this, it's all under control anyway. But
we got lucky where I was at. I gotta say we were pretty close. Like I'm in Bedford, and the fire was. I'm spitballing numbers here, but the fire was probably about 15, 20 kilometers from my place, and it got pretty smoky today. But man, my heart goes out to the people though. That really sucks.
Oh yeah, no, it's very sad. Even watching the news right now, and I mean, I'm far enough away from it that I'm not at any risk, but I feel like I should be driving up to help somebody, but I know it'd just be stupid to be getting in the way of the people that are there helping right now. So,
and if for sure would I drove up? Well, I didn't drive right up to it because same thing, right? I didn't want to get in anybody's way or anything like that. But I did drive up Lady Hammond yesterday just to kind of see if I could, because yesterday there wasn't really a whole lot of smoke because of the wind. The wind was taking it the opposite direction, eh? So I was like, I wanted to get like a bit of a, not a bird's eye view, but a bit of a closer look kind of thing. And I didn't come anywhere near like the first responders or anything like that, but I did go up until I could see the smoke coming up. And it's so sad. Like just to come out of nowhere like that. Like we played a fundraiser at the Capitol on Sunday, and when the band that got up after us got up, they were about 2 songs deep, and they were like, "Hey everybody, like check your phones. There's an emergency in this area." And I was like, wow, I live like freakishly close to that area. And so I boogied home anyways to pack a go bag and a suitcase just in case. And we haven't had to move yet. And it seems like the boys are giving her up there. The boys and the girls who were up there fighting that fire, they're really giving her up there. And big shout out to them. Brave, tough, dirty job. That is. God love them.
So I was actually, this was my weekend off from podcasting stuff, and then I ended up going to shows all weekend, and I ended up doing an interview over the weekend. And so Sunday I actually took time to disconnect for a little while, and I was out kayaking, and when I got back, that was the updates on my phone. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm like, wait, oh no, it's getting worse. It's worse. But it was all at once. It was a little crazy. But now that we're out here, the wind's blowing a little bit, so hopefully our audio's not impacted too much. But I'm glad you're getting a little bit of fresh air, getting away from the smoke for a little bit. But we wanted to squeeze this in as soon as possible because you're about to take off on the road.
I am, yeah. I'm heading up to Alberta. I got a couple shows up there. I'm going up there for 3 weeks. I've got 4 shows. I'm playing in Cold Lake, Alberta, up by the Air Force Base, which is awesome because I've got a lot of really good friends up there from my military days, back in my firefighter days. And I've got 2 shows booked on the 30th and the 1st. I'm playing just outside of Edmonton at a cottage, like a private party.
Oh,
so
that's
going to
cool.
be pretty dope. Yeah. The absolutely amazingly awesome young lady that booked me at these 2 gigs, Brandy Lee, soon to be my new best friend. Can't wait to see you, buddy. She ended up scoring me a couple gigs up there, and she's still working on more. But just going up there too. I haven't been to Alberta since last time I was in Alberta was 2004, and that was with the Army. I was going up to Wainwright on a course that sucked, but I was going up to a course in Wainwright, and that was the last time I was there. I spent 3 days in Edmonton, so my in kind of civilized Alberta, so to speak, this is like my first trip.
Yeah.
Because the last time I went, I spent like 3 days in Edmonton or something like that. Even those 3 days were awesome on you. I can't wait to go back to Edmonton, but then I was up to the military base shortly after. So I'm really excited to go up and shake some hands. I was joking around with my buddies. I got friends of mine up there that I grew up with, and I was joking around with one of them the other day. I said, so I've got 4 shows. I said, the rest of the time I'm going up, and I'm just going to shake hands and kiss babies. And he's like, what are you, running for mayor? And I'm like, no, just for like future opportunities or whatever, right? And so I'm really pumped to go up there. I'm really excited to see Alberta.
And so did your music career start before your military career or after?
It's funny. I was definitely doing it while I was in the military, and when I was, I got kind of, I guess you could say, serious. I thought I got serious with music, and it would have been about 2009, 2010 when I was still living in Fredericton. I was posted to Gagetown, and that's when I started playing like in bands and open mics and stuff like that. And I thought I was doing music until 2019 when I got out of the military and started doing music and realized I didn't know near as much as I thought I did. And,
Sure.
stuff like I mean, I thought I was marketing myself. I thought my idea of busy with gigs was maybe like 1 gig a month for a couple of months in a row, and I was like, wow, like this is taking off kind of thing, right? And so I was really awakened to it when I got out of the military in 2019 and kind of dove a little more headfirst into it. That makes sense.
I assume you said you're from Cape Breton originally?
Yeah, Glace Bay.
So you were just born with natural musical talent, so that just came easy. And then you were getting gigs, so you thought you had made it. That's what you're trying to say.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're like, well, this is what everyone's doing, so
and they're posting it on Facebook.
Yeah,
and I did miss the days of hanging flyers on telephone poles. So.
Yes, I've seen some in Halifax over the last couple of months.
I have seen that lately,
I'm hoping nobody complains about them being left up because I want to see them deteriorate and new ones get put up over top. I want to see the layers. But I can't remember seeing that in ages and ages. Like we had a couple of years where there was barely any shows. People were doing that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nostalgic for sure. So you were working on your 4th and 5th album.
Yep.
So I mean that would also indicate that you've been doing this for a while.
A little while. I put out my first one in 2016. That was called Why Not. I called it Why Not. He was my best friend in the world. He passed away a couple of years ago, unfortunately. But my bro, Corey Wilcott, this would have been probably about, say, 2013, 2014, because I would have been still hovering around Gagetown. Not necessarily living there, but definitely still back and forth from Fredericton and the Gagetown area. But I had played a couple of originals for him and his wife at the time, and they said, why don't you put some money into that? And go see a producer and dump some money into it and see what comes out of it. And I said, yeah, why not? So when I did the album, I thought, well, I'm going to name it Why Not, because why not do an album?
Yeah, give props where it's due, for sure.
And I put up my next one in 2018 that was called What's Next. And then in 2021, actually more around 2020, because it was around I wouldn't say the beginning of the pandemic, but we were a couple months into the pandemic anyways. I met my bro for life, Mr. Josh Kelly. Josh is my producer / very, very, the guy's like family now to me. And me and Josh put out an album in 2021 called To Be Determined. So that was my 3rd one. So when I moved on, when it was time to start a new album, I had so much material that we were going to release it as a double album. And honestly, I'm a huge Guns N' Roses and Tupac, probably the two at the top, and they put out double albums, so I wanted to put out a double album to be like Guns N' Roses and Tupac.
Yeah, why not?
Right? And that was, we started that in probably late 2021, and we're still working on the second one. The second one will come out probably later this year, maybe in the fall or whatnot. But the first one, If You Can't Be Good, Be Careful, Volume 1, we're going to put that out on June 30th.
Awesome. And good timing for you to be doing a little bit of touring around the country a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you have any stops anywhere in between, like on the way home or anything?
No, I'm just flying I'm flying to Edmonton on the 8th of June, and then flying out of Edmonton on the 3rd or 4th of July. It'll be no later than the 4th because I got to get back because I got gigs back here.
Well, that was my follow-up. When you're back, there must be some gigs going through the summer promoting a new album.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I am playing pretty much every weekend from now until September for sure. Awesome. And we're going to do the record release. We're going to do the record release at the Carlton on the 14th of September.
Sweet.
And yeah, because I wanted to put the record release in the middle of the two albums, and I figured the volume 2 will be at some time in the fall. So I shot for September, and I was already pretty booked for the summer anyway. So to try to slither an album release.
Yeah.
And there would have been near impossible. So we just made it for September 14th.
Awesome. And so if people want to catch up on dates for that, where should they follow you as your main source for information?
I'm all over the social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I do have a Twitter page, but I don't use my Twitter very often, admittedly. Technically, I do have a Twitter page, but I also have a website, briandoucettemusic.com, and I pollute the internet. Pretty much. I use that joke all the time in shows too. I pollute the internet. I'm everywhere. You can Google me and you'll get my ugly mug wherever you.
Oh yeah, that's definitely an easy way to find it. Yeah, that would work for sure. So now you had mentioned Guns N' Roses and Tupac. So your style in your original material is a little bit like everybody that's been on the podcast. You're blending some genres there.
Oh yeah,
I can see a few different influences, and like reading through your bios and other information that I was able to find by Googling your name. Yeah, I can see where all of that comes from, and I know the same era of music, so I remember it. I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff I would have been listening to, right? So when you perform that, I assume you started doing covers when you originally started playing. So did you blend some of that into originals, or did you skip it?
You know what? I'll tell you, the first time, and I go back, and my buddy Corey's name keeps coming up. The first time I ever performed live, it was going to be my first gig, and I was in New Brunswick, and we went downtown Fredericton, and I was actually playing lead guitar for a band. We called ourselves Bad Marmalade. And so we were playing this gig, and I was slated to play lead guitar for this gig at Mama's Pub in Fredericton. And I said to my buddy Corey, I said, I've never been on a stage before, and I've never performed. I have to go and get on a stage, or else I'm going to crap my pants going up there this first time. And Corey's like, I'll go with you, bro, and let's go do it. So we went to a bar. It was called, it was The Capitol in Fredericton, and they had an open mic night. You had 5 songs. And I got up. There was about probably at least 50 or 60 people in the bar. It was a good night. It was a good bar night. It would have been good for bar sales, that kind of a night. And I said, I'm playing 5 originals. And my buddy Corey said, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm doing it, man. Balls to the wall. I'm going all in. So there's about 50 people starting out. By the end of my second song, there's about 25 people. By the end of my third song, there was like 10. And by the end of my last song, there was just my buddy Corey in the back. And he's going, yeah, man, like trying to like ease the pain.
But you did it.
And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I quit. So the next night, I went to a spot called the Sour Grape in Hermocto. And I did too. I legit, like, I was done that night. Corey's like, no, man, no, you got to do it again. You got to try it again. It's just, man, that sucked, but you got to try it again. And the next night I went out and I played covers, and I went over really well. There was probably about 20 or 30 people at this place, and they dug me.
Oh, okay.
Whew.
Yeah. And so did you decide at that point that you needed to find a way to capture what that energy was that people were picking up from?
I did. Yes, I did, and I mean it takes a while, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I thought up until I actually started doing music, I thought I had a lot figured out, and it turns out that I really didn't. You know what I mean? So like I like to think, I think we're all still figuring it out.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's a beautiful thing about music, is that there's always areas that, even if you're good at them, that there's always room to get better at them. And yeah, I think that's the beauty about music. You're never ever going to know it all. You're always going to keep growing and so figuring it out.
For the new content then, since you're still pushing some of that forward, is that any different than what you were doing previously? Like as you indicated, like since 2019, you've been learning quite a bit, and we're all still figuring out. So we're constantly changing and learning more things. So what would people that are already familiar with your music, what would they expect to hear different on the new album at the end of this month? Maybe the one in the fall you could talk about to us again when it comes out.
I would say, I think people would hear the growth. You know, like I feel like people would. Especially between like my first album, was, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I love my first album, but even like when I hear my first album as opposed to my last one, To Be Determined, the production quality and like the sound quality has really skyrocketed. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, again, don't get me wrong. I mean, people that there's people that are still listening to Why Not and still digging it. So it's not like there's anything wrong with it or anything by no means. But yeah, definitely like the sound quality. My writing style, I feel, has kind of evolved. There's certain like I know what an ugly word is now when it comes to say like I know what a falsetto is now. I know like about like voice placement and stuff like that.
Sure.
As opposed to back in 2016 where I would go onto the mic and just scream my head off at times, right? Yeah. And then try to figure out why I was talking like that kid with puberty on The Simpsons. Yeah. At the end of it, right? So I think little lessons like that are definitely huge and definitely apparent, especially to the people that have been listening to me since the beginning.
Awesome. So now another thing that I have not yet had the privilege to see you perform live. I did see some clips online, but I more so was listening through your catalog as I was reading some of your bio and doing a little bit extra research there. So it sounds like you put on like a kind of rockin' show. It's a get out of your seat kind of show. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, so, we keep it pretty hyper. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you bring with you on tour? Do you like? I imagine when you're heading out west, it's a little bit more. Maybe it's just yourself as a solo thing.
Yeah, be just me. So it'll be a little bit more intimate.
And when you're back in Halifax, do you have a backup band with you to rock out every weekend?
Yeah, I have. We call ourselves the Brian Doucette Band, and that's Greg Hines on lead guitar. Greg is. I always joke around and say Greg is the Batman to my Batman because we're both too cool to be Robin. And Greg's been with me. Me and Greg started out in a band called El Dorado a couple of years ago, and we were a cover band. We were playing a lot of Legions and stuff like that. And things kind of started to fall apart, and Greg left. And it wasn't long after Greg left that I realized that Greg was kind of the reason. He was my bro, right? So I was like respectfully, yes. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to leave. I'm going with Greg now kind of thing, right? So me and Greg started off as a duo, and also in the Brian Doucette Band is his amazing wife, Kara. She plays keys. And when me and Greg were jamming and going out and playing these pubs and stuff like that, it wasn't long before Greg was like, well, Kara plays keyboards. Like, would you be down for a trio? Hell yeah, I'd be down for a trio. Awesome. And Kara came on board. We've also got Michael Butts on drums. He's been with us for about a year now, and he's in a sick band called Jamming Through the Night. He's the bass player / he does a lot of the songwriting stuff with Jacob Hall and Nick Murray. But they're in a band called Jamming Through the Night, JMN Through the Night. Yeah. Incredible, wicked. If you're not listening to JMN Through the Night, Jamming Through the Night, you should be. And my bass player is Gene Hugh. Goes by Gino on stage, and he's been with us for about a year now. Gino is like he's a bit of a Hala famous celebrity because he's in like 4 or 5 different bands, and he's so awesome. I'll tell you how awesome Gino is. Gino plays bass with the full band, but if Greg is busy or tied up elsewhere, then Gino will put down the bass and play lead guitar. As like a duo partner. Me and Gene are actually going up to Fredericton. We're going to Windsor, Nova Scotia on Friday, and then we're going to Fredericton on Saturday, and Gene's going to play lead guitar for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And do you want to name drop some of the bands? I'm aware of who he is. I was kind of pausing to see which band you would mention, but as you said, he's in several. So
he's in a band called Casual Cries for Help. They are deadly. And Folk and Country Line they're the 2 other bands that I know of. I know he's got another one. I think he's in a Green Day cover band. But the 2 original bands that he's in are Casual Cries for Help and Folk and Country Line. And both those bands are just cat's ass. Wicked bands.
So is there any online content for like music videos or anything to go along with any of your future releases here coming?
Yep, I've got... Wow, I think I'm up to 4 or 5 videos now.
Awesome.
I got a video for my song "Light It Up" was just on the CIOE countdown. Just made it into the Hall of Fame. But that's got a video that was done by the absolutely incredible Krista Fewer from K Fox Content. And she did a lyric video, deadly too. When I was joking around with her at the beginning, I said, she said, "What kind of theme are you going for?" And I said, "I want rocket ships, I want explosives, I want beautiful women, I want alcohol, partying, and fighter jets." I was just rambling, like throwing stuff, random stuff, whatever came into my head. So about a week later, Krista seen me at Monty's. We were watching some friends play, and she says, "Okay, so I got everything. I'm working on the fighter jets." And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" And sure enough, when the video came back, at the end of the video, there's 3 fighter jets going to the air, dragging a couple logos and stuff.
Awesome. you gotta love a dedicated content creator.
Krista is awesome. Yeah. And another couple of my videos, the majority of my videos were done by Josh, my producer. And when we first started out, he was kind of just getting going with the video stuff. And it's cool when you watch between my first videos to the most recent ones, you can almost see his growth.
Yeah.
And like Josh is just the total package, man. I love Josh right to death. Like we went down for the Rise Up video. I don't know if you watched the Rise Up video.
Yeah.
We when we went downtown, Josh basically told me, "Look ridiculous. You have to look ridiculous." So when I was downtown Halifax, I was wearing this shirt with the big yellow happy face on it, a red headband going around, almost like one of those like Richard Simmons headbands on and stuff. And I'm walking around and pretending that it's like kind of like how I'm dressing. People are like, God love people. People are so nice because they're walking by and they don't want to look right at you, but they're kind of going with the eye like, is this guy on something? I just wave like a dork back at them.
I was actually wondering, like some of the locations that in the videos are like different areas where I could see where you could be a little bit more discreet. But when you were jogging right along downtown, did you go by the ale house or something?
I did. Yeah.
I was a little wondering at that point if you were getting looks from people.
It was. Yeah. There was I remember there was a car. There was a little silver Civic. And they were younger. They were probably in their, I'm just guessing, I'd say like early 20s or whatnot. I could see there was 4 heads in there, and all 4 heads were just right in my direction. They weren't even trying to hide it.
Yeah.
And I just waved at them, and they waved back. And so I hope someday some of those people see the video and go, "Oh."
See, that's good marketing. You got to make a spectacle of yourself, and then people want to know more.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So when you get back, you'll be playing around for the summer. There's a new album coming out, and everyone here now knows where to follow you online. So as we wrap up today, is there a particular song that you would like to play out with so people can, maybe if there's some new fans here, they can get a little taste of the Brian Doucette sound?
I would definitely right now. Well, my latest release is Rise Up, and I would go with Rise Up. That's I've been getting some great reviews from it. I had just an amazing team working on it. Again, Josh shot the video, and he's awesome. I had the full band on it. Big shout out to Monty's. Monty's let us shoot the live footage there.
Yeah, they let me shoot some content there too. They're very nice about it. So
awesome. Yeah, Nancy and Aretta are just the best people.
Yeah, they even had a little spot saved for me when I got set up.
Oh,
I was able to go. Yeah. Oh yeah, awesome. So shout out to Monty's. Was there anyone else that you wanted to give a shout out to before we play out?
No, the band. I'll see you guys this summer. Follow my social media on my pages and stuff. I got a busy summer, a really busy summer. I'm going to Alberta. I've got a bunch of dates in all over the province, really. Definitely most of them around Halifax, but I'm going down to Cape Breton a couple times, down towards the west end a couple times. Riverfest, August 11th and 12th. We'll see you there. And
awesome. Great lineup there, too.
Oh, wicked lineup, yes, for sure.
We'll have to have you back on later on in the summer to hear how the album's doing and talk about the second one that's coming out this year.
Yeah.
And anyone that's curious about the music video that we talked about, the song that you're listening to has a music video that will be linked right here. All right, goodbye, everyone, and thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome, man.
All right, see you all soon.
Like shit, and if I only could quit these stupid cigarettes, for I'm dead. The day seems so long, not even sure what is wrong, but it's one thing until something new. Never-ending list got me walking around rise up. Who gives a fuck? If you suck, have fun and just suck. Get that weight off your shoulders like you're carrying boulders, 'cause your brain's the worst place to be stuck. Just rise up, and if you're down, plant your 2 feet right into the ground. And take up your stance, don't leave your rides with no chance, 'cause luck is harder than work to be found. Just rise up, rise up, rise up. Why's most of my stress always caring what people thinking? I never knew about the side effect when I was quitting drinking. So if you're not the best at singing or playing guitar, then you're still the fucking best at who you are. And just remember that you're better than everyone else at that. And rise up, who gives a fuck? If you suck, have fun and just suck. Get that weight off your shoulders like you're carrying boulders, 'cause your brain's the worst place to be stuck. Just rise up, and if you're down, plant your 2 feet right into the ground. And take up your stance, don't leave your odds with no chance, 'cause luck is harder than work to be found. Just rise up, rise up, rise up. And I know that times can be tough.